everyone. I'm Sarthak Goyal, a member of the entrepreneurship cell of Delhi Technological University, and I would be hosting Neo Presents Entrepreneur powered by Verzio.
We feel elated to be able to host you for Neo Presents Entrepreneur powered by Verzio. We're gratified by having someone of your stature in our series and hope to make the best out of this opportunity. So before starting, so I would like to know how should I address you for the next of the session?
First of all, buddy, thank you so much for having me. It's always really cool to kind of be with students who are pursuing so much. There's so much to learn from you than the other way around. So thank you so much for having me. You can address me as buddy, Karan, bro. any of those are fine.
All right.
As long as you don't call me sir, I'm okay.
Okay. So Karan, you have done some amazing work, starting from the cameo on the big screen from Ravi Jodi, then going on the television, 1000 mein meri behn hai, the Viren part, which I'm pretty sure is a term used in normal households, and then coming on special ops. So would you say you were popular in your teen years as well? In a college, in a school?
I mean, yes, I was popular when I was much younger. In fact, when I was in school, I was really popular but trust me, it was for all the wrong reasons. There was nothing right that I did to be popular. In fact, I think me and my closest friends, we were the most notorious ones when we were in school. College was just too breezy that I don't remember any of it because a lot of us didn't really study when we were growing up. But what I did enjoy studying the most was my management years, the last 3 years of my BMS. Those were I think somewhere my foundation years. I really enjoyed studying. I really enjoyed learning. And yeah, school was just fun, man.
So any funny prank you did with your friends which you remember, and it's a very it's been with you in every conversation?
I mean, in school, one thing that was pretty like messed up that we did, because I was in the boys. Me and my two of my best friends, we were in the school band. So we used to constantly get breaks from our periods to go and rehearse. But instead of rehearsing, we used to do all the rubbish that you can possibly think of. You see, we were an all-boys school, right? So when you're in an all-boys school, the only thing to do is just mess around. Now, because we were in an all-boys school, we had a division which was all girls, and they were having their sports day practice really close to my school at Joggers Park. So me and my best buddy, we both decided to go and see the girls ki sports day practice dekhenge. And I remember, we didn't have a very tall wall to the school of the periphery. So both of us jumped the wall from the garden. And the minute we got off, and as filmy as it gets, our principal was walking back from her lunch break. So she literally caught us, she twisted our ears, and like she was really strict. And she made us kneel down the entire day in her office. So yeah, this is one of the notorious things that we did. But school was innocent, man. All the naughty stuff that we did in school was really just like innocent fun play.
Kneeling down was worth it. I mean, you got to jump in the girls' area. How do you normally spend your weekends?
How do I know? I mean, other than quarantine.
Yeah.
Or like in quarantine.
Both ways. I mean,
I love
weekends are supposed to be spent at home.
Yeah, so I'm from Bombay, and there's so much to do in the city. I usually catch up with all my friends over the weekend because that's the funnest part of the weekend. Everybody's done with work. Plus, the industry that I'm in, we technically don't really have a weekend. We just have an off when we have an off. So I make the most of it. I'm out. I love eating. I love visiting restaurants. I love, trying out new places. So I'm usually doing that. If not that, I'm just bumming in bed, watching a film. It's simple. It's not very hectic. I don't like clubbing. So I don't like the idea of partying. You have to really drag me to a club. Otherwise, you will never get me there. And yeah, I spend a lot of time with my family also, actually. Me and my dad, we share a really tight bond. So we have a couple of drinks over the weekend together. And it's, my life is pretty small like that. I don't have too many things that I do, too many people. So I'm very limited with my entertainment, so to say.
So being a Punjabi, you have an inbuilt craving for heavy and oily foods. And as you said, you love to eat.
Yeah.
And the butter chicken flows in our veins.
That is
So
true.
how do you
That is
resist
true.
this? So
यार
being
मैं
a,
एक बात बताऊं, मैं ना बड़ा स्ट्रेंजली मुझे फ्राइड खाना बिल्कुल नहीं अच्छा लगता है यार. मुझे सिर्फ एक ही चीज फ्राइड बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी लगती है, एंड दैट इज समोसे. दैट इज माय बिगेस्ट वीकनेस. जो द मैसिव पंजाबी samosas is what I love. I love food in general, but fried food is something that I don't enjoy. But I eat everything. I eat everything in moderation. I have a funda. You gotta eat everything. You've gotta work out. You've gotta enjoy life. यार एक ही जिंदगी है, तो जितना enjoy कर सकते हो, you should make the most of it. So
have you
I don't
ever
resist
had,
anything.
have you ever had the titli samosa?
A titli samosa.
Yeah.
Explain what is a titli samosa.
Okay. So my maternal grandparents live in Paharganj.
Okay.
I don't know if you.
I
It
know
comes.
Paharganj, yeah.
Okay. So in the old Delhi area of New Delhi, right? So over there, a very famous kind of samosa is called titli samosa. So normal
Okay.
samosas you get is of this much size, right?
Correct.
Now titli samosa is double of this,
Okay.
and the sides of the samosa are like the wings of the butterfly,
Oh, how
and they
cute.
give you in a platter with chole and aloo and the onions and spice it up.
एंड चटनी. हाय यार, दिल्ली की याद मत दिलाओ यार. मतलब मैं वैसे मेरी पैदाइश दिल्ली की है, बट मैं पला बड़ा बम्बई में हूँ. पर मैं जब दिल्ली जाता हूँ ना, तो मुझे खाना खाने का जो मजा आता है वहां पर, इट्स समथिंग एल्स. बिकॉज एक तो दिल्ली की सेंस ऑफ फ्लेवरिंग बहुत कमाल है. दिल्ली वालों का जो शौक है खाने को लेकर, वो मतलब वो अलग ही है. वो आई थिंक हम बम्बई वालों में बिल्कुल नहीं है. तो जिस किस्म की चीजें दिल्ली में मिलती हैं, और जिस तरीके से वो बनाकर देते हैं, जिस प्यार से बनाकर देते हैं, और जिस प्यार से आपको लोग खिलाते हैं, वो बाकी पता चलता है कि दिल्ली दिल वालों का शहर है. सो आई रियली एंजॉय माय ट्रिप्स टू दिल्ली and up north in general, because the food, the quality of water, everything is fantastic.
So I'll take that as a compliment. For being
100%.
born and brought up in Delhi.
There's no other way to take that.
And the war between Delhi and Mumbai has been going on forever.
Yeah.
You check out any social media. So we've covered your schooling part.
Okay.
In the college as well, did you commit the same notorious activities?
Yeah, dude. It's so funny. In college, I was in the anti-ragging committee, and the maximum ragging used to be done by us. So,
हाँ मतलब ऐसे ही होता है.
but I don't want to actually propagate this incorrectly. यार हमारी ragging वाकई बड़ी innocent ragging थी. It was not like the horrific ragging that you actually hear about. In fact, the people that we used to rag were our own friends. It's not like we put anybody through any kind of mental torture. And it was all in great fun. And somewhere I think see, what happens when you're in an all boys school, all you have to do between boys is just like mess around. There is no other equation that you can develop with another guy. When you're on a co-ed, you're a little occupied kind of understanding your discomfort and awkwardness with women. But when you're in all boys school, you're just constantly trying to make the most of having fun. So yeah, even my college days, I was quite messed up in a way of saying. But also when I was in college, bro, I was working, so I didn't really have that kind of time. In my when I was pursuing BMS, I used to help my father with his business. I was a club promoter, so I was trying to get my bearings in whatever that I could do and understand what kind of makes me happy when I'm working. Also, I was doing like very small time modeling side by side. So there was too many things that I was juggling to just have fun. I was actually having fun with the working bit of it more than just like having fun in college.
You pursued business management as your major in university. Did you have any prior interest in business, or was it just a spontaneous decision?
I mean, I come from a business family. My father's been a businessman for the last 35 years now. So business came very naturally to me, to kind of go out there and pursue that. But also, I'll be very honest, when at the time that I was growing up, we had very limited courses in Bombay, especially. We had science, arts, commerce, which kind of were very on the surface sort of courses. They didn't really get you anywhere in terms of if you really want wanted to pursue a career in a specific field. I was in fact the second batch to pass out of BMS in general, in Bombay. So it was a very brand new course. We didn't have management studies. The only management studies we had were deemed universities. So it was all very brand new. When I was growing up, we were all trying to find our bearings to understand what we really want to study, versus how you have different courses now. You have specialized courses for multiple fields. So I think for students these days, it's so much easier to go out there and pick a course, versus we didn't have options. We had such limited options. So we just made the most of whatever we had.
Did you know that you want to become an actor since school? Like, मतलब था ये?
Not at all, yeah. मतलब बफूनरी का कीड़ा हमेशा था. So that was always somewhere inherent in my system. But actor बनूंगा ये actually मुझे खुद ही नहीं पता था कि ये मेरे साथ होगा है, and this is where I'll be today. But honestly, there is not a day that I don't love when I'm working. I love the field that I'm in. It's too much fun, and I really long to be on set, especially in this time of quarantine. For an actor, the only place where you come alive is behind and in front of the camera. So I miss that feeling, So I love what I do, and I'm so happy that somewhere, all my stars align in a certain way that this is where I am today.
So, matlab, what happened? Like, you started off towards a business career, right?
Yeah.
You could have easily ended in a higher, a good position at a corporate job, right? Or you could have taken your father's business on much up ahead. So, and obviously, coming from an outside background and struggling your way inside the film industry, inside the the TV industry, it is very difficult. So, you were ready to take that risk, or like, how did that came through?
It's quite an interesting story actually, and it sounds borderline sad. But we, I think this is 2010, 2012 when the world hit recession. So I remember at that time, even our business, because we weren't a corporate or a multinational, so all the small and mid-sized businesses took a really large hit. So did we. So we went through a really rough patch, business-wise, financially. So pursuing business at that time or trying to get a job was very, very difficult, because the economy was at an all-time low, and India was going through a really rough patch in terms of its GDP. So many people are being laid off in India and all around the world. So at that time, fortunately, my business mind, thanks to the studying that I did, made me realize that, at this moment, I don't want to kind of be in a job because it's going to make me very, very insecure of where I am. Because I don't know if it's going to pay off. I don't know if it's going to last. So what I did is I sort of, I applied as a purser in an airline, because at that time that was a very high-paying job, and airlines were doing really, really well, and India was on a boom when it came to aviation. So I felt, okay, you know what, this is going to be great. I'm going to go, I'll fly. I'll be a purser. I'll earn money because people who fly generally have very well-paid jobs. And also it comes at the benefit of traveling the world. So it all seemed great. So that's what I actually applied for. At the same time, like I said, I was always pursuing modeling because, I modeled in college. So that sort of opened up a lot of avenues. So I was juggling both of those. And fortunately, in the middle of this, somewhere I banked a job on a random road audition to a TV serial. And that's how my journey as an actor somewhere kicked off. And then I started testing more. I started auditioning much more. And, I picked the job that I really enjoyed, or the character that I really wanted to play. And that's what I pursued. And, since then, there's been no looking back. I've enjoyed that decision that I made. I'm so happy that I'm not flying. I'm so happy that I'm not in a corporate job. With all due respect, I don't think I have the caliber to sit behind a desk all day, dressed up in a shirt and trousers or a suit. So that's not me, So I'm really happy that I am in a creative field because there's such a charm to create, While everybody thinks that, acting is all about, it's all about looking good, it's about looking fit, it's all about glamour, but, just the charm of putting life to a character, putting life to pages, dialogues, and sitting there and collaborating with great minds, great makers, and, making a byproduct that you're really proud of. is a very, very, very surreal feeling. So I'm really happy where I am.
So do you have to rote learn the lines, or like do they naturally come to you?
I mean, see, when you don't know the craft, when you're kicking off your career at that time, learning lines becomes the only important thing, because you assume as an actor that line yaad honi chahiye. But as you start acting more, as you start understanding the craft a little more, you understand, once you understand the meaning of the scene, the context of the scene, then learning lines becomes very easy. That's the last worry that you have. Um, so yeah, learning lines is not a problem at all. I think what the challenge really is to nuance your character. When I say nuance, I mean make it more lifelike, make it more relatable to people, make it look like this is really a person and not just someone who's coming on screen and just saying lines. So that's where the challenge lies. लाइनें तो याद हो जाती है. मैं टीवी से हूँ, तो मैं हमें वैसे ही टीवी में बड़े लास्ट में हमारी स्क्रिप्ट्स मिलती हैं, जब हम लिटरली सेट पर होते हैं, 9 पेज के डायलॉग्स आ जाते हैं. सो मेरी स्कूलिंग उस तरीके की है कि मुझे लाइनें याद करने में दिक्कत नहीं होती. मतलब दैट इज डैम इजी फॉर मी.
तो बड़े पर्दे पे like will we see you on the big screen soon?
Well, I can only hope. I'm trying to put my best foot forward. Quite frankly, like you said, being an outsider becomes tough. So yes, it's a tough way up, but it's an enjoyable journey. So yes, I mean, for me, I'll be honest, bro. It's never been to kind of just do films. It's always been, I've always enjoyed the idea of working with great makers. It's like, for example, when you go to a great school versus when you go to a mediocre school. What a student expects from that is कि अगर मैं अच्छे स्कूल में पढ़ूंगा, अच्छे कॉलेज में पढ़ूंगा, तो वहाँ की जो टीचर्स होंगी, they will uplift my understanding of the subject. I'll become a little brighter, my aptitude will become sharper. So for me as an actor, that's always been my pursuit as well, that I want to work with great makers, because I feel like great directors, great producers will bring out the best craft in me. Whether that product comes on TV, it comes on the web, it comes on films, whether it's on a stage or in theater, that is secondary for me.
अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं about talking with great minds, and you working with these minds, we cannot skip Neeraj Pandey, sir.
Absolutely.
Like you worked with him in Special Ops. So how was the experience? How was it different from other directors?
I think it was fantastic. See, television has a very different way of working versus when you're working on any other platform. So for me, it was a dream come true to work with Neeraj Pandey. I've always, since the time that I saw Wednesday, since I saw Special Chabbis, I've always wanted to work with the man. He's another school altogether. He's so earnest. And I really want to tell this to you, because you're also in your formative years, as you're pursuing a career from here on. And I don't know what field you'll choose, but one thing that I learned from Neeraj sir, and it's always going to stay with me as a student, is to be earnest and honest towards your job, and then leave it to the rest of the world to consume it. And that's what he's believed in. That's what he's somewhere unknowingly educated me. कि दिल से लगन से अपना काम करो, मेहनत से करो, put your best foot forward, and then don't wait for the result. Just leave it and move on to the next thing. So that's what I've learned from him, and like he's amazing. Like he's one person that I think when I'm not around him, I actually miss him. I miss his company. He's so well educated. He's so well read. He's such a humble human being for the stature that he is. He's a national award-winning director. He's the A-list directors of our country. He's made the kind of films that he's made. He's making the kind of films that he is making, and still he's so normal. It's really quite a learning.
Talking about Special Ops,
Yeah.
did you do the stunts yourself?
Yes,
All of the stunts?
all of the stunts.
That's fabulous, especially the boat scene where you kill the person with the stunts and you jump in up. That's actually pretty impressive.
Thanks, man.
And what happened when you saw the script, Special Ops, when it came to you? What was your reaction?
When they sent me the script, so I actually tested for Special Ops. I did about 3 rounds of auditions for Special Ops, and that's when I got the role of Farooq Ali. When I read the script, I was thrilled. You know what happens now if you ask an actor uh, a character that has a graph is a really fun character to kind of sink your teeth into. And when I read the character of Farooq Ali, I was elated. I was like, wow, man, I'm so happy that, this is what I've been offered at this point in my career. Because this is truly what will enable me to explore my craft as an actor and better myself with a man and a director like Neeraj sir. So when I read it, dude, I was elated, man. I was banging my table. I'm a very expressive guy, so I was reading the script at 10:30 in the night on my table, because every time a scene used to come that was that I felt like, it's really going to explore my talent and it's going to allow me to do that. I was ecstatic. So I was really happy when I read the script, and I think I finished it in 2 days, because it was 10 episodes, so it was 8 episodes, sorry, so it was quite long. But I had a blast reading it, and I read it like it was a novel, and I just like skimmed through it and I was done.
Did you get to meet KK Menon sir?
Of course, KK sir and I met the first time on set itself. I met him. I think the first scene that I did was it was Delhi, correct. So we were in Delhi in Connaught Place. We did the scene where I'm crossing the road. I don't know if you've seen the show.
Right.
And I stopped the car at the zebra crossing. So that's my first scene with KK sir that I did. And actually, KK sir and I, while there is so much interaction in the show between the both of us, we've only done 2 days of work together. One is that day, and one is the day of my suicide scene. And both were a lot of fun, because see, people like KK Menon are very, very rare. They are extremely, extremely nuanced, well-rounded out as actors. So they have so much to give on screen. And for somebody like me, who's not very experienced, at least not as experienced as KK sir, to work and to act opposite a man like that, it really it makes your craft better. So I remember doing that scene with him, and I told him, I was like, sir, you know what? This is the most interesting scene that I've done, because he and I don't have lines. He's inside the car, I'm outside the car, and we're just expressing. But as an actor, you realize that you develop a certain chemistry, and I think me and KK sir developed a very strong chemistry without any lines, without knowing each other, without doing any readings of any kind, just via that one scene. So it's all credits to KK Menon. I don't think I have anything to do with it.
Wait, I was trying to wonder, as I think back to the episode I watched, that did you have a scene with him? Did you have a scene with him like you were in a separate country, he was in India, you were narrating it? So I was like, did you have? Now I remember in the starting part when he recruited you. That's what the scene was.
Even that, and even my suicide scene when I'm standing on that terrace, when I'm ready to jump off. So that is another stunt I did myself, man. I was standing on the terrace of a 20-floor building, literally on the edge of the terrace. It was quite frightening because it was. I'm scared of heights, but it was fun. It was good fun to do it.
And that smoky statement that Farooq Ali gives, I know you have been following me. That the statement, I am pretty sure everyone would have had a smile on their face when they heard you saying that.
Well, I can hope for that for sure.
Any childhood experience which guided you towards acting? मतलब होता है ना family functions में.
Childhood experience. No, bro. Honestly, I never wanted to be an actor, so I don't think I have any memories as such. Because I see a lot of actors talk about कि यार मैंने बचपन में ये फिल्म देखी थी तो मेरा बड़ा मन था मैं एक्टर बनूं. पर मेरी journey as an actor बहुत ही by chance रही है. In fact, I have more memories of wanting to become an actor while I've been acting than when I was not an actor. Because I fell in love with acting while acting. Honestly, before that, even I was just enamored by the field. I thought that it is what I thought it was. But only once you start working, once you start realizing that there is so much education behind what you're doing, and once you start studying it, that's when you become that's when you start enjoying watching films. That's when you start enjoying the understanding of characters. That's when you enjoy playing those characters. So. Not too many things that really led me to becoming an actor when I was young. But yeah, my father always had a fondness to watch films. So he used to always buy tickets for every film that he used to release for the entire family. And we used to always, as a family, we used to go and we used to watch those films. So my I don't think when I was a kid there was not much that I sort of did that made me want to be an actor.
I think it's actually great that you stumbled upon something you love, and a lot of people actually spend their lives finding what they love.
That is true.
Has it ever happened?
I hate being a student because now when I look back at my time in college, God, it's so hard because you're so lost. You're trying to understand कि भाई मैं क्या करूँगा? You're seeing people who are older than you working, and you're like, man, is this what is this the field I want to do? Then you have friends who are so like sure about their dreams, so they make you feel damn insecure कि यार इसको तो मेरे दोस्त को तो पता है कि क्या करेगा आगे जाके, भाई मैं क्या करूँगा? So I'm so happy I'm out of that place in my life. So good luck to you guys. Good luck to you.
Obviously, the penetration of the TV shows in India is fabulous. The way it has penetrated every household. And your serial, 1000 mein Meri Behna Hai, even it used to come, it used to run every time the telecast of the show used to run in my house as well. So has it ever happened a fan crossed you, and instead of calling you Karan, they said, "Oh, hi Viren."
Oh yeah, man, so many times.
Any such
that's the love of TV. That's the love of characters from TV. That you are entering everybody's bedrooms like on a daily basis. So people love those characters so much that they start associating you with those characters. So all the time people have called me Viren, and I think even though they know my name, there's a certain love for the character of Viren that people enjoy calling me that more than let's say Karan. So yes, there was a time when I used to travel a lot. I used to do a lot of shows internationally. So every time I did a show internationally, people used to call me Viren. I used to love it, because as an actor, it's a pat on the back. It's a real compliment, and it's very flattering and humbling when people enjoy your character this much that they just they want to ignore the fact that you might be a real person, and they enjoy the idea of you just being that character.
अच्छा, ऐसा कोई incident where you would like some, I won't say crazy fans, there are no fans which are crazy, but any such moment or incident which happened which I don't know, something funny, hilarious, embarrassing.
See, I'll tell you something. First of all, fandom is crazy. I have to kind of, there is no other way to put it, because and I mean this in the nicest way possible, because logging on to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, every single day, making, writing comments, making creatives for the actors that you love, reaching out to them on a daily basis is absolute craze. And I never understand as an actor that what the actors do to deserve so much adulation. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the idea of interacting with fans, because for an actor, the only validation is consumption, right? So it's like you open a restaurant and no one is coming to eat. So that's what feels like when you don't have fans going crazy. So I really enjoy going through my inbox. I love reading what fans write. I wouldn't say downright crazy, but I think one of the most sweetest gestures any fan has ever done for me is so one time, actually multiple times now, there has been fans. There's been this one bunch of girls who have come from different parts of the world. One's come from Malaysia, one's come from Singapore, one's come from the States, and they've all met at a common airport, and they've flown into Bombay together to meet me. So I thought that was absolutely insane that somebody's families would allow them to do that. So I thought that was really sweet. They all flew in from their respective countries just to see an actor that they enjoy watching. So I think that's one of the most special things that someone has done for me, and it tops my list of anything else.
That's beautiful. You have hosted and participated in so many reality shows. Like, what do you enjoy more, hosting it or participating in it?
Oh, definitely hosting it. I think participating in reality shows is exhausting. Being a reality show contestant is too tiring. There is so much that is expected of you. You're expected to entertain. You're expected to dance. You're expected to put up a certain face of a celebrity, and it's too consuming. I enjoy hosting much more than going through the pressure of being a contestant. But quite frankly, more than reality shows, I think I love the idea of just being an actor. That is the most fun, and that's the part that I enjoy the most.
you hosted the first ever Indo-Israel Summit in Tel Aviv. Were you approached for it, or did you apply?
No, you can't really apply for these things. So what happened is I actually hosted a very privileged event in New York City at the Times Square for Diwali, which was I wouldn't say a political event, but it was also just to kind of raise awareness of Indians in the States and to kind of bring them together and make them enjoy a great time on Diwali. So I hosted that evening, and we had the first Indian postal stamp, which was released that day in New York City. So I did that with the delegates of America, with the mayor and everybody. So somewhere that kind of connected me politically in a certain way, and they liked what I did, and we had Mr. Modi live on the massive screens of Times Square because we were right at the hub of Times Square. So yeah, I think somewhere that interaction sort of aided me to be a part of hosting the summit, and it was a very brilliant experience for me because just representing a country in a very small way internationally on the first ever meet of Israel and India in 70 years was quite an honor, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed rubbing shoulders with the PM of Israel and the Prime Minister of India, and just to the idea of flying with the Prime Minister's cabinet was quite a privilege. So I enjoyed every bit of it.
What is the difference between the way daily soaps are shot, movies are shot, and web series are shot?
I think primarily the difference is when you're shooting a television show, there is no end to a script, right? Because it's open ended, because it's a daily soap. So the pace is really slow. Versus when you're shooting anything with a script which has a starting and an end, it's a well paced product. So you can graph your character, you can plan your character in a certain way. You don't end up overshooting a performance because you know exactly how the character is going to play out with the story. So yeah, that I think primarily is the difference. Because it's just the platform makes that difference. That it's an open-ended series versus a limited series.
Okay. You are a fitness scientist, right? Out of everyone we have on the call today, we have I have a couple of college students on the call who are pretty fit, right? But compared to you, they have nothing. What's your workout schedule like?
My workout schedule keeps changing. I primarily train every single day of my life. Not for any other reason, but I think that's the only way I know how to kind of wake up. I don't know any other way that my body kind of wakes up from a slumber. So I enjoy fitness. I really enjoy every bit of training. I enjoy the idea of running. I enjoy weight training. I enjoy body weight training. So my idea of fitness has always been that you've just got to be active. It's not necessary that you have to look a certain way. Yeah, I work at looking a certain way if I have a certain character. But for me, other than that, it's just to stay fit. It's to stay flexible, stay agile, stay young. And yeah, that's as simple as my fitness is. So my fitness regime constantly keeps changing. At the moment, I am doing something which is called working under time under tension. That's TUT. So I work out in a fashion where whatever exercise that I'm doing, I do it for 45 seconds straight, and I take a 15-second break, and I hit it again. So what that does is it puts your muscle under tension for a very long time, gives it a short break. So you end up I think so. So that's what I'm following right now. I don't know how much anybody understood what I said, but yeah. So I keep devising new ways to keep myself active and keep myself, like agile.
In the lockdown period, specifically when we're at home, when we're in hostels or when we're in different places, it's like normal to us. We eat less because the quality of the food, and you have to walk a lot when you go into colleges and stuff. But when we're at home, there's nothing to walk, and हर किसी की मम्मी gives them good food, right?
Correct.
So how did you stay fit in this period?
So with me, bro, I cook my own food. I've always done that. Especially when I'm home, I cook all my meals on my own. Because that's the only way that I know what am I eating and how much of what I'm eating. I know for a student, life is a little tough. So I think the fun of being a student is that you balance it out by just exercising, and hope that you get out of that student phase. Because see, life is divided into different phases. What I believe, this is the time to study, to educate your mind, to sharpen your aptitude. And just be fit. The idea should be just fitness, not to kind of have six-pack abs or to look like a certain actor. So I think if you pursue different kind of sports, if you pursue just running, if you have access to to weight training, you should weight train to kind of become stronger. And yeah, once you're done with all this, and once you really hit life bang on, like head on, that's when you can decide what kind of suits you in terms of your nutrition and what you want to eat. I primarily eat everything, but yes, I kind of keep my protein a little higher than anything else, so that kind of helps you build muscle. And yeah, you just keep working out. Yeah, the key is to work out. I think that's where people also go wrong. Fitness primarily stands on like a tripod of working out, healthy eating, and great sleeping. And I know that for a student that becomes very hard, because there's so much pressure to study. But I feel like if you could remove 20 minutes every single day and just exercise in some way or the other, even studying will become a little more fun, because your body will be as active as your mind is. So yeah, I think that parallel running would be great. Yeah.
Thanks for the tip. I, for one, do love playing, but in the lockdown period have gained a lot of weight. Like I think most of everyone I know, and everyone has gained weight. So I'll be quickly move to a quick question answers. You can answer them in a single word or in a single line. But if you have, if you want to go on explaining about them, you're more than welcome. What do you think was your best decision ever?
What do I think was becoming an actor, man? It doesn't get better than this. So I think this was my bestest decision.
What was your worst decision?
I don't think decisions are bad or worst, because I feel like decisions are either right or incorrect, because every decision, good or bad, always teaches you something, right? So I feel you end up shaping up as a person, especially from the wrong decisions you make, because that's in the future what makes you realize what you don't want to do.
If not an actor, what would we have seen Karan becoming?
That would be hard, man. I keep thinking about that. Now that I'm so deeply invested in what I'm doing, I don't know what I'd do if I was not an actor. But now that I know I'm in this field and I enjoy being here and enjoy the idea of making characters, I think I'd be producing. I'd be picking up scripts and putting them on the floor and like green lighting projects. So yeah, I think I would definitely be a part of entertainment in some way or the other.
What is your typical workday like? If we speak about any show in particular, let's say you're doing.
So, I mean, let's say when I was on special ops, my work day was waking up at 4 a.m. I used to work out for about an hour. I used to first and foremost, I used to wake up in the morning. I used to meditate for about 5 minutes by the watch. Then I used to grab myself a cup of coffee, and I used to hit the gym for about roughly 25-30 minutes. I used to come back, take a nice cold shower, because that's just wakes you up. And I used to jump in the car, pick up some breakfast from the hotel, eat my breakfast in the car, so that once I'm at my location, I'm ready for hair and makeup. I used to sit for my hair and makeup, run through my lines of what's the scene that I'm going to do, and then just for 12 hours straight work. That's all that I did. Once you're on set, life is like working hell. It's so consuming, it's so hectic, and you don't realize how 12 hours just fly. And especially if you're playing the lead character of any product that you're doing, you're there in every single scene. So it takes the most out of you. So once shooting does get done, I'm absolutely quiet. I don't like to talk to anybody because you're so tired from the day. You want to regenerate energy for the next day. So I silently go back to my room. I grab myself a meal. I'll watch something on TV, and I'll just pass out. So when I was shooting special ops, I used to be in bed by 9. I used to be up at 4. On good days, when we were not shooting more than 12 hours, most of the days we ended up shooting for 14, 15 hours. So I used to come back. I used to be in bed by about 10:30, 11. I used to wake up at 4, and that's what life of any actor is when they're working. It's just bloody hectic. You're waking up literally in the middle of the night because 4 a.m. is like pitch dark. You're driving 1 hour into your locations, and then you're just slugging out for the entire day. Just to make that one product that people are going to probably enjoy watching.
So, are you a coffee person or are you a chai person?
यार ये बहुत डिपेंड करता है पता है अगर मैं बहुत ठंड वाली जगह पर हूँ ना देन आई एम अ चाय पर्सन एंड चाय आल्सो मतलब मुझे पकी हुई चाय नहीं अच्छी हम इंडियंस को अच्छा लगता है ना कि चाय को उबालना मुझे उबली हुई चाय नहीं अच्छी लगती मुझे काढ़ना तो मुझे डिप वाली चाय ज्यादा अच्छी लगती है क्योंकि ओवर द इयर्स आई हैव रियलाइज कि जो कड़ी हुई चाय होती है ज्यादा उससे एसिडिटी बहुत दबा की होती है so when I was shooting in Jordan was like we were shooting in like 2 degrees 4 degrees on certain days so it was blistering cold and we were just wearing shirts and like pants because we were showing the summers of Dubai. So I used to keep sipping on there in Jordan they have their own version of a kawa. So जो उनकी herbs होती हैं उनकी चीज होती है उससे वो गर्म पानी में एक कावा जैसा बनाते हैं तो I used to keep sipping on that but usually I'm a coffee person when in normal day-to-day life I love waking up to freshly brewed coffee. There's such a nice fragrance to wake up to. So coffee for me, man.
What was the turning point in your life?
I think the turning point in my life has to do a lot with my career because my entire life revolves around my career, and I think that would be probably working with Neeraj Pandey in Special Ops. Because for me as an actor, I think that really kind of put me out there for everybody to see, and so definitely, I think Special Ops should hopefully be the turning point in my career.
Has there been any regrets?
None. That's what I was trying to tell you, and I know that that you're a little younger than I am. So I definitely want to propagate this into whoever's going to watch this afterwards. That I feel the charm of life is to make mistakes, right? Because if only you make mistakes and you make wrong decisions is what makes you really realize and gives you clarity for the future as to what you don't want to do and what you exactly want to do. So it helps you get to your goal faster. So no, I don't regret any of the decisions I make. In fact, honestly, I relish my failures more than my successes because that's what actually gives you the learning. Success doesn't make you learn. It's the failures that educate you. So I hold all my wrong decisions very, very close to my heart. I don't forget them. I don't regret them. In fact, I cherish them and I make the most of what outcome I've gotten from them.
What are the 5 most used apps in your phone right now?
WhatsApp, Instagram, Zoom. I think that's it. I don't use much. WhatsApp and Instagram and Zoom. Yeah.
Do you binge watch shows?
I don't, but I recently have started. So if I really enjoy a show, I actually end up binge watching. I recently watched a show which I really enjoyed. It's called Broadchurch. It's right now on Netflix. It's a detective show on it's a murder mystery. I thought it was really cool. It was very subtly done, very beautifully done. Plus, I love England, so it's shot in England, so it's just a very beautiful canvas to see. There is another show that I really enjoyed watching, which actually won a lot of Emmys. It's called Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
I freaking love it, man. What a funny show. It's so subtle, but it's so relatable because of the kind of humor that it is. And David Rose is my most favorite character on that show. The guy is hilarious. And I think he's so charming at what he does. So Schitt's Creek is something that I enjoyed watching. What else did I watch? Patrick Melrose. It's a show on HBO. I'm currently watching a show called Watchmen.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
In Netflix.
Yeah. So
Is it Prime on it?
No, it's on. No, Watchmen is on Hotstar.
Hotstar. Yeah.
So watching that. Yeah, I mean, I keep watching. I still honestly enjoy watching films more than watching shows because I feel like films have a real charm. But yeah.
Are you a cricket fan or a football fan?
I'm going to sound terrible when I say this. I'm not a sports fan at all. So unfortunately, while growing up, I had no influence of sports in my life. I don't know why. I always question that. I that's one thing that I would have loved to have as a part of my life because I feel sports really instills great values in you. Like the competitive spirit, the good competitive spirit comes from playing a sport. But yeah, between football and cricket, I understand cricket better. I know the game better. I know the players better. So definitely cricket. But yeah, football I've realized is quite a frenzy at the moment.
Yeah. So now we'll move on to the set of concluding questions.
Okay.
What keeps you going? What has been with you in your entire life and has inspired you and been your fuel?
Dreams, man. Dreams. I feel dreams is the most driving force of a human being. For me, just the fact that I had a dream and I have my dreams, that's what makes me want to wake up. That's what makes me want to work hard. That's what kind of really enables me to go out there and put my best foot forward.
What would you like to tell 20-year-old Karan?
That brother, just sit back and enjoy, man. The future looks really good. Don't worry about it. It's all going to be sorted.
Is there something you want to tell to the listeners or to us which you might have missed or you want to share?
I mean, I feel I want to first congratulate all the youngsters. I really feel that even though, you and I don't have too much of a difference in terms of age, in the times that people now are growing up and, they're pursuing their dreams and their careers, there's so much clarity you guys have. Y'all are so advanced with the way you guys think and y'all approach your life that it's commendable. I feel y'all are way more sorted than all of us were. Like I said, when we were studying, we didn't have too many options in terms of courses. We didn't have the internet to our availability like the way we have it today. We didn't have the resources in terms of the technology. I feel all the youngsters today are so well educated with all of this. They know how to use the internet right. They know exactly what kind of course they want. They know what universities they want to go to. So if anything, I just want to tell the youngsters that great stuff, man. You guys should keep pursuing what you're doing. Remember, put your best foot forward. And one thing that I've learned from my life, you've got to make the most of whatever opportunity that you have. It always seems like there are other people who have better, who have better opportunities, probably better gadgets, better education, better schooling, better colleges, better cities that they live in. But I feel, and this is something that I live by, you have to play the best hand at the cards that you're dealt with. So if you're sitting on a poker table and those are the cards in your hand, you've got to play the best hand and try the best to make a win at that game. So yeah, approach life like that. Have fun while you're doing it. Like I said, relish your failures, enjoy your successes, and yeah, I think everything will pan out great.
So I just got a question on WhatsApp. There's one of the listeners who's there in the call. They're asking, what is your perception of engineers?
What is my perception of engineers? It's great. We have some great engineers who are working as actors in the industry. So I feel like engineering is really bringing out the best in people. I keep hearing very sad cases of engineers of going through the pressure of education and crumbling under it. It's very heartbreaking to see that people at a very young age sort of given to their unsureties and they're unable to combat it in a certain way. I feel being much stronger than that, have a stronger mind. There's so much that you guys do out there. Engineers have so much contribution in the world, in the country. You all are creators and artists in your own way. So I feel be proud of it, be happy in the place that you're in. And keep doing everything that you're doing in the smallest way, the biggest way, and be happy about it, be proud about it. And most importantly, give yourself a pat on the back because it's a really, really tough field. So it's really hard to study in the field that you guys study in. It's really hard to excel in the field that you're in to make it to the top. I think it's as it's if anything, it's as hard as being an actor, because even as an actor, we don't study like the way you guys study, but there is just that one hero's role, and there are so many people contending to kind of get that. I want to draw a parallel to engineers, that there is just that much seats in the best colleges, and those are like just a handful. So just to get there in life is so tough. Uh, but I feel just keep enjoying what you're doing. Don't crumble under pressure. I say this to myself that I never crack under pressure. I, in fact, love the idea of pressure. It helps me work harder. It helps me work better. So enjoy the pressure that you guys have. Enjoy the pressure of the education. Enjoy the pressure of the lack of colleges, lack of seats. And yeah, man, I'm sure you can shine out bright.
Okay, thank you. On behalf of the entire ESLDQ team and the students of the engineering college, I would like to thank you for coming and taking out time from your precious schedule for this podcast. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, it's always nice to speak to students. There is so much that you learn from you guys, and I have to really give you a lot of credit, buddy. You have hosted this entire session like a pro. So good job, all the best. This is, I think, a great field that you can probably look at, on the parallel. It'll look great on your resume. Open up a YouTube channel. You should do this. You should pursue it. Interview people in your own field as engineers and as students. And I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Karan. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, man. Cheers, guys. Bye, everyone who's watching.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Don't forget to like and comment the video. Also, subscribe to the channel for more exciting clips by the Entrepreneurship Cell of Delhi Technological University. Signing off, Sarthak Goyal.